points in space. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to graph in 3D space and do some operations with it. Okay, let's get started. So before we graph 430, let's talk about how to graph 430 on a normal XY plane. Right, most people know, okay, you go 4 on your X and 3 on your Y. That's your spot. Now that's the proper way of doing it, it's fine. But a little more technical way of doing it is that over here at 4 on your X, you draw a line that's parallel to your Y axis through 4. So on your X, when you get to your X4, you draw a line parallel to your Y axis at 4. And then when you go to 3 on your Y, you do the same thing. You go to 3 on your Y, you can draw a line parallel to your X axis through 3. And then where those spots meet, that's your graph 430. Right, no one does it that way because it takes too long, but that way is actually one of the easiest ways to graph in 3D space, because this helps you line everything up, because it's not as nicely, it's not as simplified as graphing in 2D. So with that in mind, let's start graphing in 3D. There's a graph up here. It's a normal XY graph, but it's laid on the bottom. The XY graph, the one we're used to, positive X, positive Y, negative Y, is actually on the floor. And we have a Z coming up top, which is like our height. So how do we graph this? So we can do a basic one, which is you draw a normal XY graph, like a positive version. Like this. Or this would be your Y. Your X is actually coming diagonally this way. That's your X. So X and then our Z is going up. So there's a normal positive XYZ graph, 3D graph there. To me, I always kind of think about like a corner of a room. Like this is the back wall, this is the side wall, this is the floor. So that's why I kind of see the 3D space. Now, if you notice this one has a little more stuff, that has the negative values. So I have like a negative Z going down, a negative X going this way, and a negative Y going that way. Okay, so let's graph 430 on this. Now the way it goes alphabetically, so X, Y, Z. And one way to do this is kind of like you graph an normal XY chart. We want to go 4, we're going to go 4 in our X. So we can go 1, 2, 3, 4 in our X. Then we got to go 3 in our Y. Now the key thing here is you don't just start here and start going 3. From this spot, you got to go 3 this way. So you're currently right here, so we went 4 in our X. We're right here right now. And then from this spot, we're going to go 3 in the horizontal direction. So from this spot, we're going to go 1, 2, 3. And then we would go up from there. From here, we would go up. In this case, we have a 0. So we can get to that spot right there. That spot right there is about 430. Now, that's just an approximation, but that's kind of the idea. You went 4 in your X, and then from that spot, you went 3 in your Y. So that's one way to do it. The easiest way, the more straightforward way. If you want width a little finer, what we do is the thing I talked about before. So, the thing I talked about before, you're going to go 4 in our X. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, for my X, I want to go draw a parallel line to my Y through my X value. Just like I did before to show you that the cleaner way of doing it. Something like that. And then on my Y here, right, I'm going to go 3 on my Y. So from the origin, I'm going to go 3 on my Y. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And through that, I'm going to draw a line parallel to my X axis through 3. So something to this effect. And where they cross, since your Z is 0, is right there. That is 430. So again, that's one way to do it. And now if there was a Z, I would draw a line parallel to this and then do the same idea. So that's my point. Okay, let's try 242. This looks more like the box you see there. So I'm just going to draw the positive values. That's all we need right now. So here's X, here's Y, here's Z. And what we're going to do is we're going to go 2 in our X. So let's do the basic one first. We're going to go 2 in our X. So 1, 2. So I'm right there. And then I'm going to go 4 on my Y. So from this spot, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 on my Y. So 1, 2, 3, 4 about. So now we're here. So again, from this spot, we went 2 on your X. And then from that spot, we went 4 on our Y. And then I got to go 2 on my Z. Now Z's up and down. So from that spot, I'm going to go up 2. So 1, 2-ish. So I'd say around there. Around there will be my 2, 4, 2. So just go that spot on your X. Go from that spot, go that way on your y, and then from that spot, go that way to your z. And there's a basic graph of it. Now if we want something a little fancier, we'll do all the parallel ones. Right, so the same idea, but I'm going to try to do it the fancier way. So my 2 here, I'm going to draw a line parallel to my y. Ish. And then on my y, I'm going to go 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and draw a line parallel to my x. Something like that. So right now we're like right here. And then on my z, so I do something a little fancier here. I'm going to draw a line parallel to my z on here. At that spot. Right, then I'm going to go 2 on my z. And I'm going to draw a line parallel to this line down here. So we have a line down here. If you connect this, like that. So that line there, I'm going to draw a line parallel from my z to this point spot. So like right there. It's 2, 4, 2. And that's how you get a graph that's a little more proper. Moving on to the next one, -1, -4, -2. And this one we need the full graph, so let's draw a full on z. Same thing with x. The same thing with this is our x and this is our y. There we go. So same thing with x, y, and z. Now remember, so this will be my positive x, positive y, positive z. So my negatives will be going backwards. So if I want to do -1 on my x, which is the first term, I'll go back to -1. Right, so I'm right there right now. And then from that spot, we're going to go -4 on our z on our y. Now remember, -4 means we're going to go back 4. So from this spot, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then from that spot, we're going to go down 2. Always do that. So from this spot, we're going to go down 2. So 1, 2. So around there. Right. We went to this -1 this way, and then we went -4 this way, and then we went down 2. And got us to this spot. -1, -4, -2. So that's how you graph in 3D space, roughly. So let's do a couple operations in 3D space. So we could do stuff like this. If I give you 2 points, we can find the distance, we can find the midpoint. So how do we do that? We'll use a distance formula. Now these are uniformity, but if you notice, they're really just the normal 2D distance formula, just attacking in the third term. So same thing with the midpoint formula. You want to find the midpoint if there's 3 terms, just add in the third term. That's it. So the first one, distance AB. Let's use the formula. This would be x1, y1, z1, x2, y2, z2. So as following the formula, we're going to get x1 minus x2 plus y2 minus y1 squared plus z2 minus z1 squared. So we're going to get, what is that, -6 squared plus double negative 7 squared plus -2 squared. So 36 plus 49 plus 4 should get to me, what, 40 plus 4, so 8 radical 89. So that's the distance between these 2 points in 3D space. Midpoint, similarly, just as easy. Just going to use, remember, anytime I want to find midpoint, just find the average. So we're just going to add up the x terms, divide by 2. Add up the y terms, divide by 2. And add up the z terms, divide by 2. So I get I get 2. I was multiplying for some reason. I don't even know what I was doing. 1 and 0. So I get 1, 1/2, and 0. That'll be the midpoint of these things. And that's the lesson.